my fellow comic book collectors, it's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and this is part 9 of this Grail unboxing. This should be a pretty good part. There's some really cool things. I didn't even organize them, so it might be the best book first, it might be the best book last. I'm not sure. It's just random. I missed. We're going to start out with a really cool book, though. It is Manhunt #1. And this is actually just a really cool cover. You got this guy with this crazy bloody axe. I don't know what he's done, but he's probably murdered somebody or something. And he's got like these bare feet, which is just really creepy. He's walking along the edge, and you got the girl. She's like hanging on to a gargoyle to try to get away. And it's like just a really great damsel in distress cover and girl in a red dress cover. And yeah, it's like, and you got the hero way in the back, almost Alex Schomburg style, where it's not Alex Schomburg cover, but almost the way Alex Schomburg always has the hero like way out of range to actually save the person. That's sort of a trope, but same idea. You got the guy way back here. And this is a Ogden Whitney cover, and it's the first appearance of Space Ace, and it's a Gardner Fox text story as well. So just a really cool book. Space Ace had his own series as well. So this is a key first appearance for the Golden Age. Manhunt #1, and it's just a crazy cover. I just really like it. So, yeah, and it's in a reasonable grade, like a 4.5. Is a solid grade for this book. Okay, so next one. So that was a first appearance. Pretty cool first appearance. Next one is another big first appearance. And every time I see this on eBay, they want crazy money for this book. Like over 1,000, easily. Over 1,000 in this grade, or even lower grades, which is crazy. But I did pick this up. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't that expensive. This is Joker Comics #2 from Timely 1942, and it features Basil Wolverton art. Now you're probably wondering, why would this book be so expensive? Like, it doesn't really look that exciting. It does feature some Basil Wolverton art on the cover. I think we got Powerhouse Pepper. That's Basil Wolverton's character, and he did all the art for Powerhouse Pepper. But right next to him, if you look right here, you'll see Tessie the Typist. And this is actually the first appearance of Tessie the Typist in comics. Another one of these characters that, maybe most people wouldn't know, but for me, it's a very important one. She's my favorite of the good girl characters for Marvel. So this is her first appearance, and I was quite excited to get Tessie's first appearance. So this is Joker Comics #2. The first appearance of Tessie the Typist. And I think there's only like maybe less than 20 of these on the census. So it's really low census count. Maybe even closer to 10 on the census. So this is a rare key first appearance. Okay, this next book, this is another cool one, is another collection that I'm trying to complete, working on. This is Catman #22. And what does it say? This is actually interesting because this is one of those ones where it's a blue label, but it has like maybe some restoration. It says moderate amount of dry glue on interior cover. Cover reattached with tape. Tape on cover, interior cover, and interior. That's interesting. So yeah, so this one has like sort of tape restoration, I guess. But it presents actually quite well. It's a low grade. It's 1.8. But this is, I think it's Chaz Quinlan cover. Yeah, and it says that right there, Chaz Quinlan or Charles Quinlan. But he always went by Chaz. So Catman #22. The later issues of Catman were all done by L.B. Cole covers. They were all L.B. Cole covers. But actually, Chaz Quinlan's art is growing on me. I'm getting to like it more and more. So yeah, and I like the way he drew Kitten. And so that's Kitten and Catman. So yeah, just a really cool book. I've been trying to get the full run. This is from 1943. It's a hard run to complete because the books go for crazy amounts of money. even low grades like this go for crazy amounts of money. But it is a very cool series. Speaking of cool series and cool covers, this is one that my friend Stephen Gittner actually picked up first. And when I saw it, I was so jealous because it's such a cool cover. I was like, oh, that's so cool. But this is a Canadian edition comic. The original American edition had sort of like an homage to Detective Comics number 8, I believe, number 8. But this one is a completely different cover. And you have Atomic Comics number 1. This is the Canadian edition. Way better cover than the American edition, I'd have to say. And you got the two characters with the jet packs on their back. And you got the girl, she's in bondage. You can see up there. She's in bondage. Now the interesting thing is, like, their costumes are these brownish grayish colors, but these characters are actually Zipjet. This is actually Zipjet. So it says Rocket Man and Yankee Boy Stories. It's a Harry Thomas cover. Harry Thompson cover. But that's actually Zipjet and I forgot the girl's name. Like Zipjet Girl, I don't know, whatever her name is. But yeah, or he would be also known as Rocket Man, I guess. So yeah, just really interesting. So Atomic Comics number 1, the Canadian edition. I just really like the cover. Even though it's this weird brownish gray, I actually kind of like it. It really works for me. And it's a reasonably nice presenting. So 1946 from Canada. So really rare. These are much harder to find than the American edition. The American edition, I think there was a warehouse find of Atomic Comics number 1. And so there's a lot of them, and they're usually fairly high grade. Okay. This next book is considered to be a classic cover. And it's Out of Night, number 10 from ACG, 1953. Just a great skull cover. Got the captain going down with the ship, and he's already dead. And it's a Ken Bald cover. Haha! Haven't you guessed what sort of fate was to be? What sort of ship this is? It's a ship of death. One of the first horror movies I watched as a kid was Death Ship, actually. And it was like, Death Ship's actually a pretty interesting one. The original, like way back, I believe it's like early 80s or late 70s movie. Basically, it's a ship that's just sort of floating out. Like there's, I think the story works that they were on a cruise ship, and the cruise ship gets struck by another ship, and the cruise ship sinks. But only a handful of survivors manage to get into a lifeboat before the ship sinks, right? And they find this ship that's sort of like floating in the water, and they decide to board it because they have no choice. It's either stay in the lifeboat and die, or go on this potentially ship that they can get rescued on. But it's a death ship. It's like a Nazi ship or something crazy. It's like, but it was a cool story. I was scared when I was a kid because I was a big wimp. But I learned later to like horror movies, and yeah. So this kind of makes me feel like that. It reminds me of that movie. So Out of the Night, number 10. Just a really cool book. I got it actually for Steel too. I won so many auctions really great prices lately. I've been so lucky, like just inconsistent. Like sometimes I win real, and it's like, like I'm overpaying or whatever. But lately I've been kind of lucky. I've been kind of not trying to win maybe, and maybe that's kind of working in my favor. So yeah, I'll show you the back as well. So yeah, just a really cool book. Ken Bald, great artist, and cool book. So we got a couple more to go. I was talking about how I really like Marvel Good Girl comics. Well, another title that I like is Nellie the Nurse. And this is just cute little Nellie the Nurse one. And it's, she's a nurse. She's checking his temperature. And his temperature is going through the roof because this pretty girl is touching him. So I think that's really funny. And it's like Nellie the Nurse, Timely Comics 1947. Background sign in story reads, music by Stan Lee and his orchestra. So it actually has a little sneak hint about Stan Lee. He self-inserted into the comic. Margie has that too. So, some of the other Good Girl comics were Margie is another title. And Stan Lee actually has his first comic book appearance in story was in Margie. Margie number 36, I believe. He made an appearance in the story. He's like, a character in the story. So I think he was trying to do a bit of self-inserts in these ones. So it's kind of funny. So this is where it all starts. In these Good Girl art comics is where we see Stan Lee self-inserting. Then he later does it in the movies. That's kind of what people know Stan Lee for, is putting himself into his own movies and stuff like that. So into the Marvel movies. So yeah, and got Daisy Rifle in the back, which is, every kid's best friend. So yeah, so Nellie the Nurse, number 6. And it's a reasonably high grade, a 6.0. Pretty solid grade for Good Girl art comics. Okay, the last book for this part is just a cool one. This is Marvel Tales number 97. Marvel Tales has some really great stuff in it. It starts out with a bit of Sun Girl and different like Human Torch and all those kind of characters. But the later becomes a horror-related title, and you can see that in this one. So this has a bit of the crossover between the two, where there's a Sun Girl story inside this one. So this is Marvel Tales number 97 from 1950. It has a Sun Girl story, and it features Mike Sukowski and Christopher Rule art. So this is a cool book. I don't know, this weird character getting electrocuted. Just, I don't know, I kind of like this one. It's just a fun one. So Marvel Tales number 97. And that's it for this part. So a little bit of Marvel pre-code horror there, and some Good Girl. So maybe that's the theme of this one. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Stay tuned for the next 2 parts, because they're the kind of the finale, the biggest books in this one. I kind of put most of the Grails into the last book, into the last part, the finale, because I had to make it big. But there's some pretty big books in the next part. So definitely make sure if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And thanks again for watching. Bye for now.